What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is Reseller Life. My name's John. I'm a full-time eBay reseller. I do some local stuff and dabbing into Amazon here actually this week. So what I got for you today is a sold video. These are items that I've sold on eBay, and I'm gonna go through them. What I'm gonna do is tell you where I got them, what I paid for them, what they sold for, and how long, give or take, they took to sell. So hopefully y'all can get some nuggets out of this if you're getting into the reselling world, and you can learn a little bit about what items to look out for and what items sell on eBay. So let's get right into it. This is a Grand Slam item if you can find something like this. There's actually two things in here I want to tell you about. First of all, Fluke, Fluke. These calibrators, they always have this yellow around them, and they typically pull some big money. This one actually pulled a little bit more than some of them, but some of these things go into the thousands. You find Fluke anything, and they work, and you can get them at a decent price. Jump all over them. Another thing about this one is this Pelican case. This is a smaller Pelican case. This unit itself is only about 10 inches in length. So this is kind of a smaller Pelican case. Pelican cases are used a lot of time for like guns or cameras, lenses, anything like electronics or very expensive items or very durable cases and boxes. I could have separated the two of these and probably sold that Pelican case for about $40 by itself. And then when you get into the larger ones, they can sell upwards of $100 or more. So definitely be on the lookout for Fluke and or Pelican cases. They're not all blue; they're black. They're different colors, and they get much larger. But so this was listed for about a month. This is actually a consignment from a guy that used to come into our thrift store back when we had a thrift store, and we've consigned some stuff for him before. I don't do a lot of consigning anymore unless it is a high-end item. So this is his item. What we do is we actually made 25% of the net sell on this, which we're happy with because it did sell for $583.05. We deduct the taxes we pay, eBay, PayPal fees. We get the net after that, and then we subtract 25% off of the net sell, and we take 25%. So we probably made about $100 off of this sale. Um, he's more than happy with it. He doesn't want to deal with the sale and doing anything like that. He just wanted it flipped. He actually did a job for another individual, and the individual just gave it to him, I guess. He worked for a big company, Raytheon actually, he said he worked for, and he got this unit for free from work and then retired. So he said he had no use for it. Asked the guy if he wanted it. He said, I'll take it. Yeah, I know a guy that can probably sell it for me. And there we go. So Fluke and Pelican. Look, keep an eye out for it. I'm fighting a cold right now, so if I kind of sniffle a little bit or cough, sorry. Bear with me. So next up is this is a Swiss Gear backpack. These Swiss Gear backpacks are definitely nice, durable backpacks. Kind of on the heavy duty side. They sell new or retail very expensive. This probably would have been about a $60 to $80 backpack new. But I got these. I got these over the summertime. We're in mid fall right now. So I've had these for about 3 or 4 months. I got a pallet of about 100 to 150 of these. Not all were in sellable condition. I got them from a local auction. And I paid about $1 a piece for them. I processed through them Some of them were obviously new and never been used before, and but the tags were removed. So some of them were listed new with tags. Out of the entire 100, there was probably 10 of them in there that were like that. And then some were in good condition, very good condition, and then the ones that were in poor condition, we actually just redonated. So out of the 100 and let's just say 125, there was probably about 90 of them that were good, very good, and like new. And those are the only ones we're selling. This is what we're getting for the good condition ones. The very good condition ones, about 12, and then the ones new without tags, about 15. Um, that might seem kind of low for these backpacks because these are some expensive backpacks, but they're larger. So you see here they're 20-inch, and they're heavy duty. So the shipping on these, it's we put them in a large poly envelope. They end up being 16 inches long by 12 inches by 3 to 4 inches, and they're over 2 pounds. So the shipping on these things has been ranging between $8 and $13. So a lot of these people are paying like $25 for these. We do charge shipping. So we got $1 into this one. It took this one into itself about 4 months to sell, and we got $10.22 for it. This here we've had listed for a very long time. This is a very old listing of ours. You can tell by the backdrop of this photo and the filthy. Look at this. That looks terrible. But anyhow, we don't have a setup like that anymore. And but this is a Breyer horse figure. It's a toy. These things new are about 50 bucks, believe it or not. And it's just a plastic horse. This is an older one. It would have had a stand. That's what the little insert there on that one picture. If I scroll by it too fast. Sorry if I'm making you guys' head spin. Right there. Oops. It goes a little insert and it stands. I didn't show the Breyer stamp on there, but should be a stamp on the inner leg, back leg or front leg. And this was in kind of rough shape. It didn't have the stand. And I couldn't date it and give it a model. So this thing has been listed for a very long time. This is just what it came down to, $4.61. It's probably been listed for a year. I wouldn't deter that from getting a Breyer or any type of Breyer horse. They do sell. It was just this one. There were so many variables working against it. And I mean, the photos are pretty terrible too. So, but look out for Breyer toys. You can find them at yard sales, thrift stores. You typically get them for $1 or $2, unless somebody knows what they are. There's a lot of collectors out there. Excuse me. I believe I got that out of a storage locker too, so I probably have like a quarter into it. Here we have a Brooks Brothers men's button down. Brooks Brothers, it's had better days. I still pick them up, but I used to pay almost up to $10 for these. But I used to sell them for 25, 35, 40 bucks for these Brooks Brothers. Um, the market's really flooded with them, and it's kind of brought the price down because everybody, when there's a lot of them up there, people are gonna have price wars, and it's the more that's there, the kind of the lower it devalues them. So I think I got this one at a Goodwill half off day, and I think I paid $3.50 for it. It's been listed for 3 or 4 months and sold for $10.38. Oh, sorry, I thought I had a sneeze. I might still, so. And I don't hold back on my sneezes, so you will hear it. This here I got at the Goodwill bins, and this is actually an employee shirt. it should have said that in the title, but it says Southwest right there in the right top shoulder area, chest area. That is like a phone company or a cable company, an old phone or cable company out here on the West Coast. They are no longer around, from what I know. I don't know if they got bought out or went bankrupt. But this was a very nice jacket, and it didn't look like it was ever worn. So I'm still battling this. Excuse me. There it is. Told you. I don't hold back on my sneezes. All right. So Carhartt is the reason why I picked it up more than anything. Carhartt's a great brand. They make some really durable, heavy-duty clothing, especially their jackets. So this was in very good condition, and it sold for $47.23. I had it for about 2 months, and I probably paid about $3 to $5 at the bins because we go by weight, and they're $1.79 per pound. This is about 2 to 3 pounds. So paid about $4 to $5 for it. Sold within 2 months for $47. Good pickup. This here is a digital voice recorder, Sony, like the bearded picker would say, Sony sales. I probably should have got a little bit more for this, but I'll have to look at some of the comps. But this did take a while to sell. I had it for, I would probably say like 6 months. This came out of a storage locker. I've mentioned the storage locker before. It was full of cameras and camera accessories, and I also found about 20 of these digital voice recorders. And yeah, so I got about a quarter to a nickel into this. I don't have much. One thing with storage lockers, you're going to get your products for really, really cheap out of storage lockers. There's almost always profit to be made in them. The only thing about storage lockers is they're a lot of work, and you're going to get a lot of trash, and you're going to put sweat equity into it, basically. So definitely, value your time and your energy, and if you're going to need help, like if you're going to have to pay somebody, you know, put an hourly rate on yourself and your time, and consider that into these storage lockers. There's always going to be profit into them, I believe. But if you're only going to make a few $100s profit overall, and you spend 2 days doing all the work, 3 days doing all the work, cleaning, processing, meeting up with people, going to the dump fees and stuff like that, you end up making less than $100 a day on it. Don't buy it. We lucked out with that locker. It was a really good locker. This is a Royal 2ME1900. This is basically it's like a mount, a charging mount. I don't know what it's for exactly, but it's got a model number, and it was actually new in a box. It was wrapped up in plastic. Looked like the unit was removed, but this was left behind. And I like selling these chargers. These power supplies. This was listed for about, I'd say about 2 months. Came out of storage locker, so we have about a quarter into it, and it sold for $12. They're super easy to list too, guys. AC adapters, chargers, super easy. All right, so this is something that we had in our thrift store, and I think I gave this to our lister just to kind of keep them busy. It didn't have any markings on it or anything like that, or no markings that I was familiar with. But some of these candy dishes, they sell. You definitely get some higher priced on them if you know the brand or the markings on them. This one was unbranded. It was small. It was a cool color. It's been listed probably about 6 months to 8 months. It came out of a storage locker, and it was kind of just like a filler item. We have an anchor store, so we get 10,000 listings per month, and I like to use them all. So we pay $300 a month to have an anchor store, so I don't want to waste that investment. This here we got from a pallet auction, and it came with a whole bunch of electronics and UPC type stuff, audio, video, audio stuff. It's definitely a long tail item. It's very obscure. It's a little outdated. Um, but it's just like a remote switch type thing. And there's four of these. They were all new. This one, the box was open, but you can tell it wasn't used. So I don't really know what it is. It's a switch of some sort, but it was new, so I was confident that it worked. And we listed them. They took about 5 months to sell. This individual actually bought two of them, and the other couple sold a while back. So we sold them all. I think the original one sold for about 35 bucks, and these ones sold for 18 a piece. So not bad. Probably have $1 into each one of them. All right, this one I thought I'd get more for. This one came out of a storage locker, so got about a quarter into it. It's been listed for a while because it's got the black background, so it's probably been listed for close to a year. Um, the nostalgia of this stuff is hit or miss. This is from 1992. It's the U.S. Olympic basketball team. It's the first Dream Team, which was the first basketball Olympic team that all the United States professional players played in instead of the college players. So it was definitely a one-sided year, and it kind of stayed that way for a few Olympics. The rest of the countries, the rest of the world, I mean, starting to keep up with our basketball teams in the Olympics now. But this was the original one. A closer look at it. I thought we'd get a little bit more for it, but it is what it is. We got about a quarter into it. It took a year to sell, and we got $5.35 for it. That old vintage Dream Team stuff. Um, I don't know if I would recommend picking it up unless you get it for dirt cheap. And I wouldn't expect too much out of it. All right, this is J. Crew. This is a women's J. Crew sweater. It's knitted. You definitely want to put that in the title. It's a selling point. So I believe I got this at a yard sale for about 50 cents. And this is about what you're gonna get for J. Crew. Uh, $7 to $15 ish for stuff like this. One thing about it though, it does sell. There's a lot out there. The market's pretty flooded with it all, but I mean it does sell consistently at that $7 to $15 price range. So if you're paying 50 cents or $1 for it or something like that, you're not gonna make a lot off it, but it will sell. And this was another one of those things where I just kind of I needed enough stuff to keep my lister busy. Uh, so yeah, I mean we didn't make a lot off of it, but we did make something. It took probably took about 4 or 5 months to sell. I kind of figured it would take that long because it was summertime when it was listed, and we're just kind of prepping for the winter season. So this is a vintage Black & Decker drill bit sharpener. This came out of a storage locker as well, so we'll probably have quarter into it. Um, this hasn't been listed for too long. We listed this probably a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, and it had the original box with it. But it sold for $15.10. I would be particular on vintage power tools or tools that you list. There's a lot of really great ones out there, but some of them aren't really worth much. That one was a storage locker deal, so and we did have it. Um, we had a spot at the swap meet for about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, and I had my aunt was running it, and we had it out there at the swap meet for a while. We probably had that thing down to as low as $5 out there, and no takers. So I went out there to go check on things, and I grabbed it because I had saw it there a handful of times. So like, you know what, we might as well just list this. There's a few selling online, so if there's no takers out here at the swap meet, then we'll put it on eBay. All right, this is a Ryobi um, battery charger. I think this is more kind of might be like a slightly more modern one. You get your older batteries for these Ryobis and these other drills and power tools, and then you got the new lithium ones. Definitely lean toward the lithium ones nowadays. The older ones are pulling less and less value, and the lithium ones are all the craze now, which rightfully so. They're a lot better. They hold a much stronger charge and a lot longer charge, and they recharge really fast too. So I got this one at a yard sale, and I probably paid $1 for it, which is a pretty good deal for these chargers. The DeWalt's and the Milwaukee's um, are definitely pull a lot better. Ryobi is more like a mid-range brand, but this was probably listed for about 2 months. Paid $1 for it, sold for $12.28. All right, this one I got at our Weigh and Save. Is kind of like the Goodwill bins, but it's Savers version of it. I think there's only two of them in existence. Actually, only one of them in existence now. The one that they had out here in Tucson only lasted a couple years, which is a real bummer because I love that place. If you know Savers, Savers stuff is marked up extremely high. Um, so it made that bin a really good place to go. Um, so but it never caught on, I guess. You know, and it's true. It wasn't like the Goodwill bins. When I went there, it was quiet, it was peaceful, it was clean. There was only a handful of people in there. It was amazing. I love that place. I wish I would have taken more advantage of it while it was down here. But at that time, I was still in the learning phase of eBay products and stuff like that. So, um, you know, it is what it is. But with this itself, we've had these for well over a year. We went to that Savers bin for a while. I don't know if I said, but that Savers bin's closed down. But anyhow, so I found about 200 of these golf gloves, the deactivator golf glove, and they were all new, and they weigh, you know, less than an ounce or about an ounce a piece. The clothing at the weigh and save bins was $1.15 a pound. But I took them all up there, and it was like half of a grocery cart full of them, it seemed like. And they counted it as just one item. So their one-off items, hard goods, were $5. So they charged me $5 for like 200 of these gloves. They've been listed for a while. I sell them in lots of three now just to kind of push them, and I do free shipping. So they're selling for $7 for three with free shipping. I end up making about $4 on each sale, which I'm happy with. I just want to get them going. I've had them for a year, and I still got a tote full of them left. So there you go. I got almost nothing invested into them. This is a Bell South Caller ID. Um, these take a little while to sell. They do sell though. Typically, you get about 15 bucks for them. This was sold for a little bit less. Maybe it wasn't as appealing of a model. If you're a 90s kid, you know what these are. Before cell phones and nicer home phones, you didn't know who was calling you. So when these came out, you could actually see who was calling you before you answered the phone. And it was a marvel of technology back then. So I don't know if people are actually using them still, or they're gag gifts or collectibles, but yeah, people still buy them. This one sold for $7.89. Took about 2 to 3 months to sell. We got it out of a storage locker, so probably paid about a quarter for it. Next up, Midland plug. I don't know what this goes to. Um, Plug them in, we test them. They got current going through them. They're good to go. Probably got this one out of a pallet auction, so I'll probably have about less than probably about 50 cents into it. I get a lot of these AC power adapters, super easy to list. Some of them you can, I've sold power adapters over 50 bucks before, and they sell as low as, as low as you can get actually. So I don't list them all. As I research them, I will make drafts as I'm looking them up. That way I'm kind of hitting two birds with one stone. I don't want to go through and look at the comps through their model number and say, okay, well, this one sells for a decent price range, so put that in a pile of the ones that sell, and then on the ones that don't, put it in the recycling pile because they end up going to the scrapyard. If it sells and it's in that price range that I'm comfortable with, I make a draft from that, and then I put them in a listing pile. And then later, when I'm done processing through all the cords from the pallets that I buy from the auctions, I will go and I'll take photos and finalize the drafts. So this one, I don't really know how long it took to sell. I have so many AC adapters. Um, I could have, I could have listed it a month ago, a week ago, a year ago, but I've said this before. It takes me about 2 to 3 minutes to list these AC adapters. They're super fast. They're super easy. So if I'm making $4.88 every 2 to 3 minutes, I'm okay with that. So AC adapters, power adapters. If you're buying them one at a time, look them up. If you're doing them like I do at the auctions, and I'm getting big pallets, bins full of them, then you know, just make sure you're not paying more than scrap value, because if all of them are junk, then you gotta take them all to the scrap yard and get their value in copper. Uh, so anyhow, here's another one of those Swiss Gear backpacks. This one is one of the ones that are new without tags. It's in really good shape. That's why we put new without tags, because I didn't see any flaws on it whatsoever. And this one is selling. Actually, I thought we were getting $15 for the new without tag ones, but I guess they're down to $11.82. So had it for about 3 or 4 months. Paid about $1 for it, and it sold for $11.82, and we got it from a pallet auction. This is a spec phone case. This is a retail arbitrage deal that I did um, at one of our retail stores locally, and I think I bought about maybe about 150 of these cases. It was a good deal, retail arbitrage deal. I've gone to a few other retail places that sell these locally, and it depends on where you go. When they want a clearance and make room for other stuff, um, because they were asking at some of these other places $10 a piece for these, and I got these for $3 a piece at another one. So same store, but one's clearancing them for $10 and the other one's clearancing them for $3. Obviously, there's no money to be made on them at $10 because I sold this one for $8.16. But $3, that's not a great margin, but as you can see here, I got 7 available, so it was one listing. So if you do the math, I got about I'm netting about $4.50 per case, and there's 8 of them listed in one listing, so not bad, not a bad listing. And the other ones are different foam models and different colors and stuff like that. So I'm happy with it. Listed it. This one in particular, it took about 3 weeks to sell. This is a Panasonic cordless phone. There's the model number. You want to go by the model numbers. You want to test these because they're kind of finicky. This one I did have a base for it. I was able to test it. I remember these ones in particular. I got these at the Goodwill bins, and I pay by the pound. They don't weigh anything, and electronics and textiles are they're 89 cents a pound. So I was able to charge this on another unit that I had. I didn't have enough bases, but I had more phones than bases. So all the other bases were sold with the phones, and this one was a straggler. So uh, this one took about 3 to 4 months to sell. Paid less than $1 for it and sold it for $7. This I got at a Goodwill months and months and months ago. Probably 8 months. I thought it was cool. I saw one other comp for it. It sold for like $20. But every month that my items don't sell, I drop the price 10%. It's just the way I do things. That's not the way you have to do it. It's just the way I do it. I have room to store a lot of stuff. We have like 4,000 active listings, but I got a big barn type warehouse on my property, so we get the time and the space to sit on it. It doesn't cost me anything to store stuff. So I paid $1 for this. It sold for $7.76 at the Goodwill. This is came out of a storage locker. I don't sell these anymore. These old rechargers, battery chargers, but they used to sell better, not so much anymore. Got about a quarter into it and sold for $3.78. Took about a year to sell. These came out of a storage locker. There's the old vintage Nikes. They're not in the best shape. They definitely got some wear on them, but there was a market for it, a collector's market for them. They came out of a storage locker, so probably got less than $1 into them. They definitely took about a year to sell, but still got $16.43 for them. Not bad for a pair of ratty old sneakers. This is a retail arbitrage deal. Final Fantasy Archive Volume 1. We got this for $5 at a Walmart recently, and it sold for $22, $23, and it took about a week to sell. That was, yeah, it was retail arbitrage. Abercrombie don't sell as well as it used to. From what I hear on other videos that I watch and listen to, it sells for other people, but it doesn't sell very well for me. This has been listed for at least a year. It didn't sell last winter. I'm glad it sold this winter because I kind of want to just get away from the Abercrombie altogether. Likely it came out of a storage locker, so about a quarter into it, and it sold for $4.36. I wouldn't recommend Abercrombie. Other resellers might. I don't. But it all just depends. There's variables that go with it. I don't do one-day shipping. I'm not a top-rated seller. I don't do free shipping. Those were not the best photos. So some of these other sellers that do sell Abercrombie and recommend Abercrombie, they probably have all those variables going for them. They're go-getters, and good for them. And honestly, I should be doing better. I should be doing like they're doing. But me personally, I'm just not a fan of Abercrombie anymore. Used to love it, not anymore. This is a vintage No Fear hat. These are from the 90s. I got this out of a storage locker, so got about a quarter into it. It's been listed for about a year. It's one of those things, not a great setup, not a great photo. Hat's got some wear to it. And yeah, sold for $6.27. I would still recommend No Fear stuff, that old 90s vintage stuff. Just don't pay too much for it. And this is the last one. I picked this up recently at a yard sale, actually this last weekend. This is probably going to be in a haul video that I put out there. But I got a whole case of vintage fishing lures. This was one of them. A lot of them were unmarked or unbranded. I don't know if they got value for them. The rest of them I'm going to put in an auction. But this one did actually have some markings and some brands on it, and I was able to find a few comps, so I was able to date it as well. And I listed this for $44. There was a 20% off on top of it. Somebody offered me It didn't sell for 35. Somebody gave me a $30 offer on it, and I took it. It sold. It took about 10 hours to sell from me listing it, and it sold for $30. I probably have, if you average out the cost per lure, I probably have about, I don't know, 75 cents into this. So good sell, sold quick too. All right, so that's all I got for you today on a little sold video. I didn't really poke around at a lot of the listings. I kind of just clicked on the first. I think there's 26 here. I just went with the first 26 that I saw. That's why you got some lower ones and some better ones. So I hope y'all got some nuggets from this, and I was able to teach you something about some products and items to pick up or not to pick up, and what to pay for them, and some means of getting them. If you got any questions, comments, or anything like that, please don't be afraid to comment below. I will definitely get back to you and answer your comments. But besides all that, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out the channel. I hope I could help you. I appreciate if you hit that like button. It helps me out, helps out the channel. And we'll catch you next time, guys. All right, take care. We'll see you.